Welcome guys, as I'm sure you've seen around the map in Fortnite Battle Royale, the countdown is now fully in effect across all platforms. Any TV that you go up to in Fortnite has a countdown for the big, what we all assume, rocket launch to finish off Fortnite Season 4. In this video, not only are we going to be taking a look at new parts of the map that were added in with yesterday's update that a lot of people have completely missed, but we're also going to be taking a look at hidden coordinates for this rocket launch, including actual glitched replay files that show parts of the rocket in the map, which is absolutely crazy, and also a huge theory about a limited time mode that could finish off this season, which could be absolutely crazy. It's all in this video, guys. Included in the background is actually a pretty crazy gameplay I had today with a lot of hunting rifle kills, which I am trying to get more of at the moment, so I was really happy with that. Some crazy close fights, so keep an eye on the gameplay. It is definitely a good one. As we get into all of the juicy information for today, if you're new around here, make sure you're subscribing to see all the latest Fortnite Battle Royale news straight away. And obviously, if you're excited for whatever's going to be happening with this rocket, give it a big fat thumbs up. And for all of you guys that are spamming me, when is the Playgrounds mode returning to Fortnite? The latest I have at the moment is it should be returning later today, if not latest tomorrow. So Playground should be available for everyone very, very soon. But if you want to see some early footage, it's actually already on my channel because I managed to play it for that short time it was out, which was very lucky. Now, I do have something very special to show you guys before we get into all this juicy information. The guys at Control Freak, who I've worked with for years and years, have officially launched a very limited Battle Royale Control Freaks for both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. As you can see here, these guys are beautiful, giving you an additional 120% mobility on both of your sticks for more precision, better accuracy, and are extremely useful for obviously the long games of Fortnite, allowing you to aim well from start to finish. And if any of you guys have never tried a Control Freak before, this is easily the best place to start. They are very inexpensive. I'll link them down below in the description. As soon as you click that link, it'll automatically apply my 10% discount code as well, which is the Allier discount code. And I knew you guys would be really interested in these. I believe there's only a limited amount, so they could go quite quickly. So go and check out the description. Go and grab yourself one of these just to show them in action. This is what they do. Basically means that when you're holding the controller, that extra length is a ton of extra mobility, and trust me, it gives you those really nice precision shots, both at close range, so shotguns, and super long range, so snipers. I can't play without Control Freak, so I knew you guys would be really interested in those. As I said, link in the description, make sure you're checking those bad boys out. But let's get into all of this juicy information. So as I said, and I'm sure if you guys noticed, the countdown has officially gone live on the TVs. It did glitch out and go live last week or a few weeks ago on the Nintendo Switch version. That wasn't meant to happen. This is meant to happen, and you may have even heard it goes off every now and then, not every game, the siren sound as well. This siren sound is obviously coming from the evil base layer, which was the image that was being shown on the TV prior to the countdown being shown on the TV. And I actually went and explored the new layer and didn't even realize that there's lights, red lights all over it now that are glowing, flashing. The rocket is primed and ready to take off, and also the countdown is now being displayed on the hologram in the evil layer as well. So obviously with this official countdown, we now know exactly when this rocket launch or whatever crazy thing is going to be ended up happening to the map is happening. What I'm going to try and do is just convert it to like all the major time zones on screen here. For everyone that's chilling with me here in the UK, it's going to be 6:30 p.m. on Friday, which is in 2 days time. Obviously, I'm going to be in game, I'm going to be waiting, I'm going to be recording for you guys at this exact moment to see what happens and where exactly this rocket ends up, which we've also got some information on in this video. But keep an eye on all of these times, guys. This is when it's happening, Friday. If you're not able to be there and actually play the game, as I said, I'll be covering it for you guys. So it's going to be absolutely crazy. Can't wait to see what happens. But that's something that almost all of you guys have seen. Now we're going to talk about things that most of you guys will not have seen. So first of all, did you guys know there's actually a new named building, and it's pretty small, don't get me wrong, in Retail Row, which is now a detective's office. It links links in, obviously, with the detective leaked skins, which I showed you guys in a video late yesterday, which you may have seen. If not, I'll throw them up on screen here. And these detectives will be coming out over the next few weeks to be some of the final skins to be released in Fortnite Season 4. So this is going to be their little base, their little place where they're doing all their detective work, and it's important for a big reason. Because in this building is actually a painting, and in that painting you may recognize it as a part of the map, and that part of the map is actually in Anarchy Acres. Now yesterday, whilst the limited time mode Playgrounds was live for just that short period of time, some people, when I say some people, I literally mean like 1-2 people that I know of in the whole world that managed to see this, some of the replay files actually glitched. And if you actually go to that exact spot in that picture, in a replay file from that Playgrounds mode, which actually none of the replay modes work anymore. But luckily, Seven, the awesome guy you may remember that I actually played the Playgrounds mode with yesterday, he did a load of exploring within the replay file, went to that exact spot, and what did he find? He actually found the thrusters of the rocket embedded in the ground within Anarchy Acres. It shouldn't have been there. It's like a weird glitch with the replay, but actually shows us the very first piece of the rocket, because this doesn't mean the whole rocket's landing there, but the thrusters are actually embedded and will land in Anarchy Acres. Now, for those guys that don't know, when a rocket goes up, it often loses a lot of the parts of the rocket, which are just dropped off and land wherever they land. In this case, obviously the thrusters are landing in Anarchy, but it doesn't actually mean that the rocket itself, its final point will be Anarchy. As we'll get into in a second, we have definitive coordinates on that within some in-game files to take a look at. But a big thanks to Seven for sending over this little clip. As I said, barely anyone in the world even managed to see this. He's very close to 300k on YouTube, so go and check him out, go and subscribe and help him hit that milestone. And a big thanks for him to sending that clip over, because I knew you guys would be hyped to see it. So now we know that parts of the rocket will apparently be scattered around the map, but where is the actual landing location for the rocket? That's what we want to find out. Well, some very clever hackers, I think, some in-game file people that go in and data mine all of the content each time a new patch come out, by the name of Two Epic Buddies, have actually gone in and found a load of audio files for the takeoff and to do with the rocket, which no doubt will go live and we'll hear on Friday once the countdown ends. And once these audio files are actually taken and actually manipulated into image form, you can actually see that the waves and the sound themselves turn into different images, which actually visually can give us something to look at. The first of them being the same skull that we got as a warning image on the TVs, which, as we know, is obviously the evil layer, which is where the rocket is at the moment. But the next one, and like Epic Games, they hide things deep. These guys are crazy, and it's the second time they've done this. You may remember that one of the audio files back at the end of Season 3 had to take the L dance when turned into an image. Absolutely crazy. But this one is really important because it gives us a load of numbers and letters which can actually be decoded and actually give us specific coordinates on the map in Fortnite Battle Royale. So when decoded, they give us the coordinates B6, H9, I8, and I9. Once you take a look at these coordinates and work out where they are on the map, as you can see on screen here, it covers 2 sections. First of all, the whole of Moisty, like literally all of it, all 3 of those squares are included in those coordinates. And then a bit of a random one off on the west side of the map. We'll talk about that one in a second. But first off, the Moisty coordinate is very interesting because as long as these aren't put in as trolls by Epic Games, remember that take the L dance, you never know, they could be trying to put us off track, but let's just take this for them actually trying to lead us in the right direction. For those of you guys who remember the leaks back at the end of Season 3, telling us it was going to be a superhero themed Season 4, that Dusty Divot was going to be hit, not Tilted Towers, all of that ended up being true. In fact, the guy that leaked that has actually got a lawsuit against him by the guys at Epic Games. That's how much he leaked, because he was actually a guy from Epic. I think he was doing testing for the game that told the internet all of his stuff. He actually said that by the end of the season, Moisty would be gone, it would be flattened, and would not be the Moisty that we now know. In fact, it probably won't even be Moisty Mire anymore. The theory is developed obviously throughout Season 4 with this rocket that's been introduced, that the rocket's end point and hit point will be Moisty Mire. I mentioned this before when we very first talked about the rocket, how Moisty Mire is very likely to be the actual point of contact and where the rocket will be landing, and these coordinates seem to be pointing at that again. But obviously there's one more coordinate on that map that isn't Moisty Mire. So to work out what's actually in this coordinate, we need to actually do and jump back really towards the beginning of the season and also the end of the season. First of all, with one of the back blings for the spy characters, who's obviously got that new little detective house in retail. His back bling actually has a drawing on it. That drawing actually has a footprint with an arrow to some sort of crazy monster with a big foot. And that footprint was very first discovered at the beginning of Season 4 as one of the new positions that was added in a very tiny little house. I think I've only ever been there maybe once or twice in the whole of Season 4 in any videos you guys may have seen. But that footprint was initially looked at and people were like, oh my god, dinosaurs are going to be coming, dinosaurs in the next season. But since the development of this season, people have a far better theory that that footprint is not a dinosaur footprint, but in fact is potentially in giant form, either a Leviathan, which we've seen as a skin already in Season 4, or also potentially the Moisty Merman, who's actually in the store at the moment, funnily enough, in Fortnite Battle Royale, is actually a footprint for a far giant, real version of this monster, which has obviously placed its foot down and marked exactly in that coordinate that has come up in those audio files that have been turned into coordinates to give us some more information. So this is where we start having to create our own theories and work out exactly what is going on here. And some of the most popular theories is the fact that this rocket, and the reason it's hitting Moisty, is the fact that the real version of this Leviathan, or this real massive monster coming from Moisty, has come out and the rocket is actually hitting it for the reason of trying to take it down and trying to end it and take it out before it destroys the whole of the map. If that ends up being true, there was another leak that was circulating, and this isn't from the same people that leaked all of the facts about Season 4, so someone else, takes it with a pinch of salt, is the fact that potentially at the end of Season 4 we'll get a 50v50 mode, where the giant monster that will be coming out of Moisty has to be transported by a team to either, and it will vary depending on each time you boot up the map, either all the way to Greasy Grove or all the way over to Wailing Woods, which is obviously where that secret bunker is, with one team trying to actually move him along and the other team trying to take him down and stop his journey and stop his path. Can't lie, that would be one hell of an epic limited time mode if that did end up happening. But from everything that we can take today, we know Friday exactly when the countdown's going to be finishing and that rocket's going to be taking off. We've already seen parts of the rocket around the map through glitched replay files, and it's looking like 99.99999% that rocket will be hitting Moisty. But for what reason, we still need to know, we still have to find out, but it is pointing at potentially a giant monster coming from the deep in Moisty, and that's why the rocket is trying to hit those coordinates. You've got to hand it to Epic Games. They sure know how to lead us down theories and trying to point us in the right direction, sometimes the wrong direction, to work out what is going on. But as we know, we're only a few days away from finding out the actual truth. Now, at the end of this gameplay, unfortunately, I did get taken out. I was gutted, especially with some of the clutches I had, some of those sniper shots that I had. Unfortunately, this guy with 2 kills did not move from the little wooden hut and behind that tree that was in that final ring, and he was full shield, full HP, and managed to dome me straight in the head and take me out instantly. I was absolutely gutted, but I really hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay in the background of this video as well. So let me know what you think of all these theories. What are your own theories about what is going to be happening with this rocket and all of the Moisty Mire talk that's going on? Leave them down below in the comment section. I can't wait to hear them. As I said, remember, you can get yourself these awesome new Battle Royale inspired and developed specifically for Control Freaks. Link down below in the description. And if you want to see some Playgrounds mode, assuming it's not up already, that'll be linked in the description as well from yesterday's video. So guys, thank you so much for watching. So excited to see what happens with this rocket. Cannot wait. You guys have been amazing. I'll see you on Friday, or there'll be a video tomorrow as well before that, but definitely see you on Friday to see what happens with this rocket, and have a good evening.